welcome to Hive Live with me, Natalie Turner.
And me, Cameron Hayward. We have an action-packed show waiting just for you, finishing with a fabulous performance from one of Gloucestershire's rising stars, Leah. Here she is warming up in rehearsals.
It's about the chances you take. The friends and memories watching all unfold. No need to push the messy brain.
Oh, I cannot wait to see her later.
Yeah, what a talented young lady she is.
Absolutely. Well, this week, Hive Live have been scouring the county looking for sustainable ways to make a friendlier environment. We have been getting down and dirty at the local farms in the region.
At the bar, drinking zero-waste cocktails and finding greener travelling options in the Commuters Challenge.
Not only that, but Cam has also been strutting his stuff on the catwalk, showcasing some very stylish yet sustainable fashion items.
So brace yourselves for that. We've got lots of sustainable ideas for you to take control of your future. A group of children from Cheltenham have kicked this off this morning by walking out of school as part of a national day of strike action.
Pupils from schools from across the town met at Montpellier Gardens, where they took to the streets to call for action on climate change. In a statement, the UK Student Climate Network said, "We are choosing to rise up and take direct action where older generations have failed."
Next, we follow our reporter Emma Hillary on her journey to finding out how different people have unique ways of finding food closer to home.
I'm here in the beautiful Forest of Dean to meet two foresters who've been foraging in these woods for decades.
Foraging's a natural phenomena that's handed down through the generations with forest people, and as long as I remember, we've always collected watercress. It's a very peppery plant. It's very nutritious, full of vitamins. We use it for sandwiches and soups.
What's your favourite thing to find out here then?
I personally like the chestnuts in the autumn.
Yeah, the nuts, hazelnuts, chestnuts, quite a few nuts.
What sort of things can you make with them?
You
Well,
make chestnut stuffing.
roast chestnuts is a childhood favourite, isn't it?
Yes.
It was an adventure just to go and collect things.
We're free.
Yeah.
If you aren't lucky enough to be able to walk out into the woods and forage your own food, you can grow your own. This is St Bridge Allotment, where people come to grow their own fruit and veg or whatever they like. This is the largest allotment in Gloucester City, and I'm here to meet some very keen growers. I'm here with Tracy and Stephen, and they have had their plot here for a very long time.
Since 2001.
I've been since 2013.
The allotment site itself is a total of 8 acres in size. It's the biggest one in Gloucester City, and we have 270 plots. Apart from the cost element, there's also the taste. Quite frankly, some of the produce in supermarkets has no taste.
It does spoil you, because once you've tasted a fresh tomato straight from the vine, you wouldn't want anything from the supermarket again. I never buy vegetables.
Yeah.
Very rarely, because we live off the land all year round.
If you can't forage your own food, grow your own food, you can always buy from your local farm shop, which is where I'm off to next. Primrose Vale is a farm shop located on the outskirts of Cheltenham. They sell seasonal fresh fruit and vegetables like strawberries, asparagus and rhubarb. Whether you're foraging for your own food, growing your own or shopping somewhere like here, everything goes towards reducing the carbon footprint of your food.
You know, a lot of the food in our supermarkets has been imported from abroad. For example, these blackberries are all the way from Spain. Most of our apples come from abroad. And these raspberries have actually come all the way from Morocco, of all places. On average, a piece of fruit will actually travel over 6,000 miles just to end up on your plate.
That's crazy. I wouldn't have even thought. of that.
It seems ridiculous because I grow these raspberries at the bottom of my garden.
Well, I certainly don't, but I'll be sure to come round yours and grab a few.
You'd be more than welcome.
Well, here at home, our farmers are trying to do their bit to grow produce locally, but those involved in meat and dairy production have been criticised for adding to the problem of pollution. Our reporter Ollie Walker has been in to visit one farmer in nearby Herefordshire who is using technology to change the future of farming.
Farming in the countryside is a stereotypical and romanticised view of Great British life. But recently, farmers and the work that they do have come under fire from environmental activists and vegans. So we came to this farm here in Herefordshire to see what they do to help and what they have to say on the matter.
As a livestock farmer and a vegan, I don't think we're that different. I think what we want are fundamentally the same. We're both passionate about the environment, we're both passionate about animal welfare. Now, how we arrive at those things are different and we're never going to agree, but we do agree on an awful lot.
All around the farm, there are other clues to Robert's sustainable approach, like a biomass boiler fueled by trees and organic farming techniques to protect the land.
Soil pollution is a huge issue in itself, so it's not necessarily any things like nitrates or anything that's in the soil, just the soil itself. If it runs off, it blocks up all the little pores in the gravel, in riverbeds and stream beds. With the rotation that we have by applying organic matter through the manures that we apply to the ground, we can prevent soil runoff. The soil stays where it should stay. It's a valuable resource for us, but it also can be a real pollutant. Without livestock in the rotation, that wouldn't happen. If you look globally, there are some very questionable agricultural practices, as there are human rights practices. You know, it's very easy to look globally and think those problems are on our doorstep as well, and that's just not the case.
Despite the noise online, it seems that farming can indeed be sustainable, especially here in Herefordshire.
You'll remember when Sir David Attenborough came to Cheltenham to talk about plastics on climate change. We were all so impressed with his call to arms to save the planet. Here's a great photo of him with one of our reporters, Lavana Hayes, and this was the inspiration for our show.
More and more of us are stepping up, and even the government have announced new controls on single-use plastic, like these infamous plastic straws. Here at Hive Live, though, we're already doing our bit by using these reusable metal ones instead.
I know, these are pretty funky, aren't they?
Indeed they are. This is the straw of the future, everybody.
Are these ours?
I think so.
Well, either way, I'm pinching one and taking it home with me. But as I found out earlier, it's not just plastics that we are also recycling furniture and reusing items to use a more sustainable environment.
My name's Dave Entwistle. I'm the CEO of Vision 21. We're working towards a more environmentally friendly Cheltenham. We do a lot of recycling. We also encourage people to cut down on plastic use, and we're working with Plastic Free Cheltenham to get things together and promote what they do around the town.
As more people start making the change towards a plastic-free environment, the more we will lessen the effects of global warming. I'm here to investigate what Cheltenham is doing to contribute.
Well, not only is it a beautiful day here today in Cheltenham, but it's also a perfect day for a litter pick. I'm about to meet with Meg, who is the founder of Plastic Free Cheltenham. She's very kindly agreed to meet with me to discuss the contribution she's making towards a more environmentally friendly and sustainable Cheltenham. Let's see what she's getting up to. Hi Meg.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well. Beautiful day today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very nice day. Yeah. Are you wanting to help?
Yes, I've bought my own. Oh, fantastic.
We always
really
need more
completes the
volunteers.
look, this does. Would you mind holding on to this for me? So Meg, just while I get myself sorted, could you tell us a little bit more about Plastic Free Cheltenham?
Yeah, of course. So Plastic Free Cheltenham is part of a national initiative, and it's now got over 470 communities involved, and the initiative is called Plastic Free Communities. So we're just one of many communities across the UK that are helping to tidy up their communities and cut down on single-use plastics.
Fantastic. Well, shall we get cracking?
Yeah, let's have a go.
Brilliant.
See how much you can find.
Let's see how much floor we can cover. I'll be honest, I don't know how far I'm going to get, but I'll do my best.
Don't worry.
Okay, let's go. Wow. Who needs to go to the gym when you can litter pick,
I know, it's good exercise.
Other than litter picking, what else are you doing towards sustaining a plastic-free Cheltenham?
Each plastic-free community has 5 objectives that they have to fulfil to become plastic-free or get the plastic-free status. So the first one is getting the council involved, the second one involves businesses, the third one is community groups such as Brownies, WI, that sort of thing, and then we've got to run events like litter picks and then to have a steering group. So objective 2 with the businesses, we've already got 5 businesses on board. So they're Vinnie's Eatery, the Cheltenham Wine Company, Food Lease and Plastic Free. We've got Superdry as our flagship employer, and then we've got Door 4, who is a wine, champagne and cocktail bar just on Montpellier actually, and he's taken some really good switches to get away from single-use plastic, so he uses paper straws and all sorts of just really sustainable items.
I got involved about 2017 with local MP and Meg, and we formed a group, and since then I've kind of worked on the business side of things. We do a lot here at Door 4 in terms of trying to reduce single-use plastics. We don't use any plastic straws, obviously, using paper, bamboo, wheat, and then we're also trying to reuse stuff like tonic bottles. So instead of just constantly chucking glass away, I thought have another use for it before it goes out.
Reducing your eco-footprint can be challenging, but with more people living with less plastic, the cleaner our environment will be.
Those cocktails were so good.
Tom is an absolute cocktail wizard. Those are fantastic.
What did you have again?
I think mine was Parma Violet. Either way, exquisite.
I don't know what mine tasted of, but it was very strong.
Yeah.
I very much liked it.
That's what I look for in my cocktails. So.
But who would have thought drinking out a tin of sweet corn would taste so good? And now I've got my metal straw.
Tell you what, I could have done with one of these cocktails when I was sent to cover the end-of-year fashion show at the University of Gloucestershire.
Oh, I bet.
Yes, they wanted to send a fashion expert, but unfortunately I was the only one available.
Aww.
I know. But I did end up learning loads about sustainable fabrics and what we'll all be wearing in the future. 17 students, over 50 garments, and just less than 4 hours to go until showtime here at Oxford's campus. The University of Gloucestershire Fashion Show is bringing together students from all courses, from event management to fashion design, hoping to educate people like me on the impact our fashion industry has on the environment. Well, it's a little bit manic here today at Oxtalls. Designers are frantically trying to get their collections together. Models are dotted all about the place, having makeup thrown on them. Thankfully, to cut through all the madness and here to explain a little bit more about fast fashion, I have Christy and Mo. I don't know anything about fast fashion, so just tell me, what is it exactly?
People are just consuming so much, like, garments when they're going out shopping, and I think it's just consideration of what you're buying, how much you're consuming, and what's affecting your choices of what you buy.
Lately, just like a lot of people just buy a lot of clothes because they're cheap and available, which is sort of choosing quantity over quality.
In fact, it's much worse than you might think. The fashion industry produces over 1 billion garments every year and uses 80 billion cubic meters of fresh water annually. Hive Live has managed to get a sneak preview behind the scenes of the fashion show. Here's where it all happens, where all the garments put together, where all the collections are brought together right before they are put on display outside. Now, I don't have a clue what I'm looking at, but thankfully I'm joined by a student who does. The student's name is Katie. So, Katie, why don't you talk to me about your collection here? What's the message behind what you've got going on here?
So, my collection is about upcycling and giving garments more life and stopping it to go to landfill, and yeah, that's basically the message.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So, what kind of materials have we got here? So, this looks a bit like a shirt.
It is.
Yeah? So, why don't you talk me through
So, it's made out of shirt sleeves. So, it's actually, I kept the original shape of the sleeve and just sew them together, put some more sleeves on there to make a strap.
Wow.
And voila, you got a top.
So how did you go about preparing for the fashion show then?
Just making sure that all the models were happy in their clothing, to make sure it fits, make sure they know the message behind the clothes. and just making sure that everything is done.
Yeah, are you excited to put it all on display?
Yeah, now just seeing the models walk the catwalk is actually quite interesting, because before it didn't feel real, but now it's starting to feel like a fashion show.
Yeah.
So.
Lovely. So what sort of advice would you give someone like me who's not very fashion conscious, not really that worried about their sustainable fashion?
Wear things more than once.
Yeah.
Get more wear out of them, put it with something different, make a new outfit.
This fashion show isn't just about sustainable textiles, it's also about sustainable relationships. There are students here from every corner of the university, studying everything from music to dance, all here with one goal: to bring a fashion show to remember. We're now joined in the studio by the mastermind behind that event, Senior Lecturer of Fashion Design, Margaret McDonough. Margaret, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi.
So the rehearsal looked really good yesterday. How was the actual show in the evening?
It was amazing. Yeah, it was exhausting.
I can imagine.
But really thrilling. It was just a great combination of lots of hard work from lots of different parties. So yeah, really enjoyable. And the feedback from the audience and today from various emails has just been fantastic.
Brilliant.
I mean, it looks absolutely fantastic. How long did it take to put it all together?
Well, in reality, what you saw yesterday was a day's work of rehearsals and slowly building up the momentum for the afternoon. So we arrived at Oxtall's Business School yesterday about 8 o'clock. The catwalk was complete about 10. Then we rehearsed up until our first run through, which was at 2 o'clock. And then between hair, makeup and a few technical glitches, we put the show on at 7. And
A very, very efficient production then. There were quite a lot of students kind of scrambling about. How many different courses actually got involved in this?
Well, it was really a combination of events management course and fashion course initially. That was the plan to do, really to provide the students an opportunity to do the best of what they do.
Yeah.
So, fashion students do the garments, events do the event. But along the way, then we drew in other courses. So music students were involved, yourselves got involved, that was amazing. And then between for the models, so we cast for models, they're all university students, and they came from everywhere, geography, computer games design, PE, sport, dance. It was amazing. Yeah.
So going back to the actual clothing, is it important for your students to have that sustainability message that you send across?
Definitely. The course is only 5 years old, so it's relatively new, but it was written fundamentally around the principles of sustainable and ethical design. So we have sustainable and ethical design at level 4, but beyond that it is then integrated basically into every module. So by the 3rd year of the course, those students are really entrenched in some aspect of what it means to design sustainably or ethically, and they interpret that within collections in a range of ways.
So do you think the fashion industry as a whole is making enough effort to be more sustainable?
I came from the industry before I started in teaching, and yes, the challenges are huge.
Yeah.
And in recent years, yes, I think we're all waking up to the real dilemma and difficulties around fast fashion.
Absolutely, learned a lot about that yesterday.
Yeah, it's a real kind of paradox of kind of, it's difficult to kind of manage that idea of, fashion's forever recreating and new, but it's I think it's probably it is the 3rd sort of most environmentally unsustainable industry that there is, and
Wow.
I think people are really shocked by that. So it's imperative that we train students and educate students so that they can go into that industry and make the difference, make the changes that need to happen.
Thank you very much, that was fantastic.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much for joining us yet again.
So we've talked about fashion, we've talked about farming. and we've talked about food. So we've all shown that we can all do our bit to living a more sustainable lifestyle. But perhaps one of the biggest contributions that we could all make is to change the way we travel.
That's right. According to the European Union figures, Cheltenham is one of 33 areas in England with illegal levels of air pollution.
No.
Yeah, it's true. Cars and buses are one of the biggest contributors. That's why we've set two of our reporters, Will and Kofi, a challenge to get across town as quickly as possible. To see whether foot power is better than engine power, let the race begin.
Thank you, Nat and Cam. So we're here at Pittville Pump Room for the challenge from Pittville Pump Room to Norwood Arms on Bath Road. Kofi, you feeling confident?
I am feeling confident, yes. I'm going to be walking, I'm going to go by foot, I'm going to go from here to the Norwood Arms, straight all the way through town as the crow flies. What about you, Will?
I'm going to be taking the bus, the D bus, from over there, just over there, and then I'll be either taking the 61 bus or the F bus to the Norwood Arms. It's a hot day, so you might get sweaty, Kofi.
Yeah, but your bus might not be air conditioned, so...
What time are you aiming for?
I'm aiming for quicker than you, is what I'm going to say. I'm here to beat you.
Yeah, I reckon I could take 30 minutes.
Do you? Okay, I'll do 28. Right. So, 3, 2, 1,
go.
Go. So we're 2 minutes in. I've lost sight of Will now. He's just disappeared. Now, when he's on the bus, it might be quicker. He's got to wait for that bus. And if that bus is late or he misses one, then he's got to wait at the station. Whereas I can just keep going as long as my legs let me.
Okay, so I've got to wait for the bus along the road here. Hopefully it should arrive in any time soon. So this is the D bus. I'm going to take it from here, outside Pittville Park, up to Norwood Arms.
Just got into the centre of town. I'm at the promenade. This is bus central for Cheltenham, so Will could be on any one of these buses. I'm hoping he's not, because I do want to win this. Oh really? Oh god, I better get a move on then. I'm still in the middle of town.
I'll see you at the top.
That was Will, a bit quicker than I had thought, so I think it's time to bust out the secret weapon, which is to run. Come on, let me cross, let me cross. Thank you. Just running again. There it is. There's Norwood Arms. Right, where is Will? Oh.
No, he's there. There he is. Oh! How close?
Was that close? Well done. God. That was tough. Well done, Will. That was very, very close. What was your final time on the stopwatch?
My final time was 27 minutes. 27 minutes.
Mine was 28 minutes and 4 seconds.
So you're only just a minute out.
Yeah, you took a little bit of a different route than you said you were going to, though.
I did. I didn't take the 61 bus. I took the 10 bus. Slightly longer, going the way it wants to go, not where I want to go.
But didn't work out as well for me, because unfortunately I came last. I will say, when you called me, I was up by Cheltenham Town Hall, and I was a little bit scared because you were a lot further ahead than I had thought you was. But then again, Will, you are Hive Live's resident cyclist, are you not? Why don't we see how long it takes to get a bike from one end of Cheltenham to the other? So we'll start at the same place, we'll do the same route, and we'll time that. So if you're okay to get kitted up, I'll meet you back at the pump room.
Let's go.
Let's go. So Will, how was the bike for you?
It took me 12 minutes.
12 minutes? That is more than half the time it took the other two.
I definitely think it's the best way to get around Cheltenham. Really? Compared to the bus and on foot, I think walking, your feet are getting too achy as well.
It's also really healthy for you and no carbon emissions.
And I think that's, again, it's just the best way to do it around town.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Natalie and Cameron, in the studio.
Thank you, Will and Kofi, for that look into an eco-friendly commute. Not quite sure I'm converted into a cyclist just yet, though.
Joining us on Hive Live tonight is a very special guest. Cheltenham's up-and-coming artist Leah joins us. So, Leah, you have an EP coming out. How excited are you?
Yes, I'm very excited. My first ever EP, my first proper music release. So yeah, it's very exciting. quite nervous to see what people are going to think of it, but yeah, at the same time, very, very excited, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the EP?
Yeah, of course. So the concept behind it was kind of just about me, my life experiences, and about growing up. One of my songs is called Home, and that was kind of about, you know, me just being a kind of like home bird and like loving where I lived. But I was like, I need to flee the nest, I need to go and do something different. So that's why I moved to uni. So yeah, it's just kind of about me and my life experiences. So I hope that people will be able to relate to it as an EP.
So you're a third-year student, you're about to fly away from the nest again.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It's very daunting, yeah, very, very scary. First time that kind of like my life isn't predetermined for me, which is a bit scary, but I'm going to try my best to make a living out of this and see how far I can go with it. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, we've heard you. You are absolutely fantastic. So we do wish you all the luck in the world. But I'm going to let you go and get ready for your performance.
Yes, I will do. Thank you ever so much.
Cheers.
Well, that's about all we've got time for here at the Hive Live. Thank you very much for sticking with us all the way to the end. Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram at the Hive Gloss, and go and get yourself a copy of Leah's new EP due to be released this evening.
And here she is performing live.
You make me try believe that you gon' stop. Every day I walk towards the trust of your mouth. We know the way, we know, yeah, how we gonna play. We know the way, we know just how it gon' play. I hit hard like the crashing of waves, but for what? If it ain't reciprocated, know your worth, easier said than done. I know the way, I know, yeah, how we gonna play. I know the way, I know just how it gon' play. Yeah, 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 yeah. I am just fighting the feelings from my gaze. Yeah, don't you know? Please see me in the best state of my jelly. No more calling the shots. You gotta wait and see. You changed my life for the good and the bad. Oh, no more. Puzzled feelings cloud my mind. Don't know the score. I know the way. I know, yeah, how we gonna play. I know the way. I know just how it gon' play. I am just fighting, fighting the feelings from again. Yeah, don't you know? Please see me in the best state of my jelly. No more calling the shots. You gotta wait and see. Everyone move in the middle a little bit more. Come on. There we go. There we go. I'm not having to look over here, man. Nice. I haven't got my band on stage right now, so we've got a nice guitar solo. So yeah, enjoy that. Don't really know what to do with myself. You know, please see me in the best state of my jelly. No more calling the shots. You gotta wait and see. Thank you very much. Cheers.